Well, I gotta tell you this while it's still on top of my head. 32-bit float or not? Of course, 32-bit float. A couple of weeks ago, I was on an interview shoot with a production company located here where I live. I haven't worked very many times for this company because I mostly work alone, but I was assisting another photographer and his director. So I prepared all my gear before the shoot day and I thought everything was okay. On this shoot I was going to bring my Sony FX3, which has the XLR handle, which has the option to record 4 separate channels of audio. So my most common setup these days is the Sennheiser MKE600 camera microphone, which is plugged in by the XLR cable, and a lav mic set from Saramonic, which I put into the 3.5mm jack. While you're using these two microphones, you get 2 channels of audio on each microphone. One level which is set pretty high and one level which is set a little bit lower, so you have kind of a optional track or a backup track if the audio is peaking. As a part of my preparations the day before, I was turning up and down the volume on the XLR handle and the audio inside the camera, the rec level, to make sure that the audio wasn't peaking when I was talking to it. But the kind of environment I was doing the settings in back here at home was pretty much different from the location where I was putting the camera up with the audio setup. So we did a little bit of testing of the audio before we started the interview, and when you're starting, the interview object is maybe talking on a certain level, but as the interview goes on and maybe you're sitting there for half an hour repeating yourself and doing retakes, the excitement at some points really get up. So maybe they are starting to shout and shouting out these P's and S's, which is really making the audio peak above level, so it's maybe not recoverable in post. There is a lot of things you can do with software to recover audio and images, but it's not ideal. This Saramonic lav mic set, which I have been using since 2021, is very much doing its job. But when I was importing the footage on my timeline on my computer, I saw that I had 4 tracks of audio, which was great, but none of them was perfect. Even the lowest one, which was recording up below level, was at some points peaking above the line. So I got a bit irritated on myself and was starting to googling lav mic sets. The same day I ended up on the Røde Wireless Pro set. This is a genius set of lav mics. There are 2 transmitters and 1 receiver. The receiver has a display which shows all channels of audio. The transmitter has a screw-on lav mic. And the genius thing about this transmitter is that you can plug it into your computer or your iPhone and tell it to record immediately when you're plugging it out of its charging case. So right now, as we speak, we are actually recording everything that I'm saying. So I was using this on an interview last week. I plugged it into my computer, very excited what kind of audio I was getting in that interview, and I couldn't find the files. There was audio recorded directly into the camera via the 3.5mm jack into the XLR handle like the Saramonic lav mic system. But I was interested in the onboard audio recorded directly into the receiver. I couldn't find it. I didn't find the files in the software, Rode Central, I guess it's named. So I was very disappointed. But then I saw that this receiver was plugged into the computer like a normal USB device. I double-clicked that device and there were all the audio files named wave.wav. Every audio file was there. I started listening to them, and everything from we plugged the receiver out of the charging case till we plugged the receiver back into the case was there. I have not set it to record on timecode because I saw that f-stoppers had bad experience with this, but there's no problem as long as you do a big clap or a clapper, so you have that peaking sound on all the different audio tracks. You can align them in your editing software very easy at the beginning, and then you have parallel audio all the way. And you know what? The audio was not peaking at all. It was perfect. I love this. I'm going to use this on every shoot from now on.